Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my daily or weekly photo talks. I have a daily photography podcast, so I sometimes confuse that. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link down in the show notes. But I do a daily photography podcast. But this is my weekly video show. Happy Saturday. Thanks for being here. So today I'm going to talk about the Wise Photo Project, which I am now striving to make it a global project, because I realize I can't do it alone. The Wise Photo Project is simply a goal of photographing our parents and grandparents in a high quality way and making a single print of that photograph so that we actually have portraits of them that will last for generations to come. I have photographs on my wall over here. They're not of anybody that I know, but they were printed in the 50s, and I appreciate that somebody made these portraits of people, and then they went up for sale at some antique store, and I thought, well, you know, the only reason they exist is because they exist physically. I have some tintype photographs on the shelf behind me. I have photographs in little glass frames from the 1800s. All of those photos only exist because somebody printed them and mounted them and put them in some little container. And I love that. There's no way that those photographs don't exist without somebody creating that. Let me see if I can get one. I don't know if you can see that, but that photograph is beautifully created in this little storybook, complete with like a little bit of purple velvet. It's just beautiful. But that only exists because it exists. And my goal with the Wise Photo Project is to make it so that photographs of my family exist, and photographs of other local families, since I offer every Monday my portrait studio as a place for seniors 70 and over to come and get a free portrait. I actually make it so that I'm not going to let price be in the way of making this project exist. So on Mondays I offer a free portrait for seniors 70 and over. And what's really fascinating about that for me is I've been photographing them with a Hasselblad. And I'm photographing them on square 120 film and black and white, and I'm hand processing it. And then I'm hand printing it. And I'm printing it right here in my darkroom, and I'm giving it to them in a little frame, and I'm saying to them, this is gifted to you. The only provision it is that you cannot scan it, take pictures of it, put it on the web. This photograph is for your family to have to enjoy in person, and when they're visiting you, and when they carry it on to their family as their family grows up and their great-grandchildren grow up, and then they always have this photograph of you. But this photograph isn't for the web. This photograph wasn't made for the web. It didn't even use a computer to make it. It used a piece of film, a mechanical camera, chemicals in my darkroom to finish it and give it to you. And they are very, very pleased with the quality, and of course it's beautiful quality, and it's a studio portrait. But I'm not completely opposed to any photograph being put online, but for these portraits, because it's something that I'm doing as a gift, I'm putting those limitations on it. It's also a way for, if they wanted to get a second copy, I could sell them a copy. But I'm not trying to sell them a copy. I'm trying to create one photograph that they didn't have, that wouldn't have existed without me creating the opportunity for it to exist. For me to make the one photo like this that ends up in a box, and they end up passing it down, and somebody finds this 50 years, 100 years. So that's my project. But I want to make it a global project. And the way I do it, the way I suggest we do it, is I get you involved. And I get your friends involved. And the people that you know, you get them involved. And what we do is we just create portraits of our family members, especially our parents and our grandparents. And we make a simple print. It can be through your local camera store. It can be through Costco. It just needs to be a print. It doesn't have to be gigantic. It could be 5x7. It could be 4x6. It could be 8x10. But put it in a frame. Put it in a place that is actually displayed in your home. And then you're done. If you want to shoot digitally, and if you want to put it in a place online, I have a Facebook group called the Wise Photo Project, and my goal is to get photographers from around the world to photograph their families and to put the photographs on there so other people can see them. And so it can inspire more people to do it. But the goal is really to make a print. It's not to make a photograph for that Facebook group, because that Facebook group picture will be long gone in 50 years. And who knows where the digital files are. I have files of my own family that I can't find when I need them, only because of the quantity that we create digitally and put into computers. I have a computer that was just in use 9 months ago that I replaced, and I kept it in case I need to get anything out of it, and today it would not boot up. And those are the kinds of things that are causing problems for future generations seeing any photographs that are in there. Nothing's keeping this one from being seen because it exists physically. It's on metal. The ones behind me are prints on paper, but both of those are tangible. Photographs that are in a computer, especially the one that doesn't boot up, that doesn't do me a whole lot of good. And it doesn't do anybody any good in any period of time down the road. So that would be my ultimate goal, is I could get you to photograph your grandparents, parents, and put their photographs on this group, and then share with other people so that they'll get the idea and then they'll do it. And make the prints. Show the prints in the photographs if you want. And make the prints and make photographs that exist. You may not print a lot of photos, people may not print a lot of photos, but if they only print this photo, that's a big win for this project, because we've now created a way that people will be remembered in a high quality way. I suggest to people who aren't photographers, either bring a photographer in or else do a quality job yourself. Find a good place to do it, find the right way to do it, and do it right. But the goal is make something of them, make it a portrait, and print it, and make it so that it'll last for future generations. So I'll put a link to the Facebook group. If you participate and contribute, I would love that. Put the photo in there so then we can share it and get other people seeing it. And when you go to that group, you'll see the cover photo is a photo of my mother. And I put that as the cover, little honor for her. All right, that's today's photography talk. Talking wise. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back next week. We'll talk photography. Here's the good light.